everybody, welcome back to the channel. You're at Country Girl and my name is Kathy Jarvis, and usually we talk about in the garden what we're planting and what we're doing, but today we're going to talk about what happens when your freezer doesn't work correctly and you're about ready to lose all of your hard work from where you've harvested all summer. That's what happened to us this weekend. We have this upright freezer, which we've had for quite a while, and I had it stuffed faux, and I do mean faux, and that was one of the problems. A freezer like this needs to have at least 3 inches back here, 3 inches on the side, on each side, and I had put my craft items, I had it up to here filled. And with these type of freezers, you have to make sure that these vents are open and allow for air. And we've done that, and now this freezer is at 0 again, so it's working again. But you cannot overfill them, and that's why I had done. I had to the point where I was cramming stuff in, so there was no airflow whatsoever. And I found this out when I put the blackberries in, and there was a puddle right across here that was all sticky. It wasn't frozen, it was sticky, and I knew I had a problem. And so we panicked a little bit because we didn't know what to do. We didn't want to lose everything, and we knew that this freezer was completely filled. So we went and bought a new one. Now, we were lucky to find a freezer, to tell you the truth. I started looking the night before on the computer trying to find a chest freezer, and we finally found one up at Columbus. It was the last one that they had. So my husband got up the next morning quite early and went and brought it home. Now, the reason we decided on a chest freezer is because they have a lot more room. They don't have air vents that you have to worry about as far as blocking. The only problem they do have is that you can lose stuff in them easily because it's hard to store, to come up with a storage system. And also they have to be manually defrost. But that's a good thing in a way, because the ones upstairs that are upright, it's automatically defrost, and it means that the temperature fluctuates back and forth a lot. So with these freezers, the chest type freezers, you don't have that high and low of the temperature. Things halfway freezing, thawing a little bit for the ice to melt, and then freezing again. So I know my mom had a chest type, and she would always lose stuff in the bottom of it. So I've come to the conclusion that I am going to use totes like this and put the food in them, and that way I'll know. And it's got a little pocket here, so I can put inventory what's inside this tote into that, and that way I will know what's in. And like if I want vegetables, I just go in and grab the tote that I know the vegetables are going to be in, which is probably going to be blue or green. But I'll color code them that way, and that way I can just grab a tote and get what I want out there. So we got this one up and running. Now the problem was, what was still good upstairs? I mean, it got to almost 30 degrees at one point. And so you kind of course that was after I took everything out. Before that it was up to 14 was the highest it got while the food was still in there. And after we took everything out, with the door open all that time, that's when it dropped down to 30. But now it's back up to 0. But the problem is, even at 14 degrees, what's good and what's not? So I went and started looking around on the computer. And I found that the, of course I can't find the page right now. USDA, what their recommendations were on what to keep and what to toss. And according to them, if you have a freezer full of food and the safe temperature starts to go up, as long as this food still has ice crystals in it, or it was at 40 degrees and lower, it's probably okay. Your meats, your poultry, your seafood, all your types of cuts, you can refreeze if they have ice crystals in them, or if they're still held at 40 degrees, no higher than 40 degrees. If it goes over 40 degrees for 2 hours, then you have to get rid of it. You can also, that also applies to soups and stews, your milk, your eggs, as long as they're not in the shells, and egg products. Ice cream, frozen yogurt and stuff, that has to go. If it's melted whatsoever, you know, even if it has ice crystals in it, it needs to be tossed. You can refreeze the cheese, soft and semi-soft. Hard cheeses you can refreeze. You can even refreeze them if the temperature got above 40. Shredded cheese and cheesecakes, you can refreeze if they still have ice crystals in them, but not if it's above 40 degrees for 2 hours. Now, fruit juices, you can refreeze them if they still have ice crystals in them. You can refreeze home or commercially packaged fruit. Vegetable juices can be refroze. These are all things that have ice crystals in them. Home or processed food or commercially packaged food or blanched food can be refrozen. Your bread, rolls, muffins, cakes without any custard fillings can be refroze. Pies, as long as they're not custard or cheese fillings, can be refroze. Pie crust can be refroze, and casseroles can be refroze also. You can also refreeze flour or cornmeal, nuts, waffles, bagels, pancakes, frozen meals. All these can be refroze if they have ice crystals in them. Now, if your temperature has gotten to the point where it's above 40 degrees for 2 hours, you pretty much have to discard everything. The only thing you can refreeze are your fruit juices, your home packaged fruits, your breads, cakes, pie crust, flour and cornmeal and nuts, they can be refroze. Your pancakes and waffles and stuff can be refroze. And you can refreeze hard cheeses. Everything else needs to be tossed. So we managed to save most of the stuff that we had. There was just a few items that were pretty close to their expiration dates anyway, and the bags blew up and had a lot of air in them, and I just didn't feel comfortable with those. So everything else we managed to save. So, if you have learned anything, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, it doesn't cost anything. And remember, dream big and follow that dream. Bye.